Hi everybody, it's Philip from MUX1410 and this is our project video. In this video we're going to talk about the enVision mobile banking application, the designs, functions, and features, as well as how it works and why I've added those capabilities in. So this is the overall screen flow. It is complicated as you can see, but then again when I started designing the mobile application I'm like, wow, there's a lot that goes into these screens. Let's go ahead and show you what happens when we first launch the application so you can get a better feel of why something that can seem so simple can be so complex. And then here's our enVision mobile banking app. The first time we launch it, we do have the ability to log in, which is the first thing they see. They also have the ability to click on Open Account, which will take them to the ATM branch finder. Otherwise, they can log in with a username and password to their account that they use for their mobile banking online. If the login fails, it'll take them back to the login screen. Else, if the login works, it'll take them to the home screen. They do also have the ability to click on Forgot Password, which will send an email to the password that's registered for them inside of the mobile banking. It doesn't allow them to enter a new password for security reasons, and it doesn't allow them to enter a new email address for security reasons. And then it will display an alert and then take them back to the login screen. And then that's the first time it launches. And then every time it launches, it will start a timer and monitor activity. If activity is detected, it restarts the timer. If activity is not detected for 15 minutes, it logs out the user and displays the login screen. And then it also monitors, is the application minimized? Did it restore? Did it come back? If the view came back after we went somewhere else, what happened? And that's what this monitors for. It also checks the last launch time. If it's been more than an hour, it displays the login screen. If it's been less than an hour, it displays a PIN code, which is tied to their online account. They enter their PIN. If it's good, they go to the home screen. If it's not good, it adds 1 to the failed count, and they can try again. If they do it 5 times wrong, it will lock their account and lock them out. So all of that happens in the background. The only thing really that the user sees is the login screen or the PIN request screen, and that's it to start with. So just one of those two screens. And then, of course, we have the home screen. And since this is for an iPhone or Android phone, we do have a common layout between the two using the standards that we have. And those are going to be with the navigation controllers on both of them, so it makes it really easy. And so we have the menu icon on the top left. We have a search icon on the top right. In between that, we have the account title in the top center. And then underneath the account title, we display the balance. And then we have transactions filling up the rest of the screen. So really, the home screen is nothing more than just a single tall screen or a wide screen if you do it rotated, however you wish. That has a navigation controller on the top. We have our balance and then our transactions. That simple, that easy to use. If the user clicks on search on the top right hand side, they'll be taken to the search screen, which will allow them to type into a box on the top, which will show all of the transactions if the box is empty. As soon as the user starts typing on their phone, it starts filtering out the transactions that they've completed between all of their accounts, and they can search for an individual transaction that way. And then if the user also clicks on the title of the account in the top center, they have a few other options available to them as well. So if they click on title, a little pop-down will drop down showing them all the accounts that they have linked to their mobile banking application, as well as the balances on the right-hand side. Once they click on an account, it'll take them to the home screen again, where they can load all the transactions immediately for that individual account. There's also going to be a small pencil on the right-hand side of the name. If you click on that, the title becomes editable. The user can rename the account and then click OK on the keyboard. If the name is good, the account is renamed. Else, if it's taken, it'll add a random number after it to ensure that the account name is unique. There is also going to be a little X next to the pencil that allows you to delete or unlink the account. I did speak to a local banking institution here called TCF. I asked them a few questions about what is some common standard business and banking practices, and one of the things they said is that they don't allow you to close accounts via a mobile application for the most part. You can unlink it so you don't see it anymore, but to close it you either have to go into a branch and sign a card, or they have to send the signature card to you so that you can close the account. So if you click on the X, it'll ask if they wish to unlink it from mobile banking. If they click on yes, it's marked in the system as unlinked. It'll move the account that's next in the list. Use that as the primary. If no other accounts are found, then it'll show a message saying no other accounts are found on the home screen, and just sit there and wait for you to do something. Otherwise, it'll take you back to the home screen and stay on the same account that you're on. And then if the user clicks on the balance at the top of any of the account screens that they're on, it'll refresh the balance. And then, of course, we show the transactions. So that really is the home screen in a nutshell. And then we talk about the menu. If we click on the menu is going to slide in, and then inside of the menu we have the ability to do quick pay. We have the ability to do transfer funds, deposit funds, and do our ATM and branch finder. We do have the ability to log out as well. Let's also talk about the ATM branch finder. In the ATM branch finder, if they click on that, it'll display a map view immediately and ask for GPS permissions if it doesn't have them already. If it does have GPS permissions, it'll locate the user. If it can locate the user, it'll show locations within 20 miles of that user's location. The user can bench to zoom in, out, to view more or less as well. The system will place the pins on the map showing ATM or a branch location, different color pin or type of pin for each category. The user can click on the pin. The pin will expand showing the phone, address, and hours as necessary. The user can click on phone to call it or click on address to go there. Now, if it doesn't locate the user, it's going to try to locate the user via Wi-Fi, which is less reliable, but sometimes it's more reliable than just relying on a zip code. And then if it can locate them, it'll start adding the pins. If it still cannot locate via Wi-Fi because it's turned off for whatever reason, it'll go ahead and use the zip code that's stored in the banking system to locate the user. The reason why we have this last is because we try to avoid looking up information about the user in the banking account if at all possible. The only time we want to trigger and look into an account per the bank is if the user requests it or we must absolutely look in there. Then we look it up via the user account and then we start loading everything in there. So one way or another, they're going to get a list of banks that are near them, and that is the ATM branch finder. Then they can go ahead and deposit. And with depositing, we also ran into another snag when I was talking to the bank. In my project description, I did state that we can manually add a check, but I excluded it. It goes against banking details to manually add a check into a mobile application to deposit because a user can forge that check. Per the banking regs, I cannot just manually enter the checking details myself. There has to be a picture of it for me to do that. So I've stricken that from the description there. And so what we'll do is we'll ask for camera permissions. If we're not given the camera permissions right down here, okay, we'll show an alert stating that it was denied. We'll offer to take them to the ATM branch locator. If they say no, they go back to the home screen. If they say yes, they go to the ATM branch locator. Makes it easy in case they don't want to scan. Now, if they do say yes to the camera, we're going to show the camera screen. And the camera screen is going to be a landscape screen with a bar on the left and instructions on the top. The bar on the left has an X to close as well as a camera icon to snap the picture. The user can click on snap to take a picture of the check, which will take them to the show check review screen, which will have instructions on the top, a redo icon on the right, and a green check on the right. Once the user does confirm by clicking on the green check that this is the picture that they want, it'll take them back to the camera interface, which has the controls on the left, to take a picture of the back of the screen, which will also update the instructions. Once they verify that that is the picture they wish to use, it'll take them to the show amount screen, where they can enter the amount on the check. They can click on preview, which will show the check details, show the check preview side by side, show the projected account balance, the checked account balance deposit clearing date, as well as the submit button. Once the user clicks on submit, it'll show an alert stating that the check was submitted and take them back to the home screen where they should see a transaction pending. So that is the standard to deposit a check via mobile banking. And then we can also transfer money. Transferring money is a little more intuitive based than what I actually have written here. It's hard to write intuitiveness into text. They're basically just clicking a link, choosing the account, clicking the box, choosing the amount, clicking the bottom link, choosing an account, and dragging the box. That's it. And we're done. From there, we have quick pay. We're going to show a list of payees that are going to contain the payee's name, account number, details, and the last payment we made, so that the user knows that, hey, this is the payee that I want, even if they have similar names. Then, once the user clicks on a payee, we're going to take them to the Show Pay screen. On the Show Pay screen, we enter the amount, we click Continue, enter the reason, we click Preview. In the preview screen, we show the payment details and an estimate of when the check will arrive, and they can click on Cancel to go back up to the payee screen. They can click back to go back and make a change. They can click Submit to submit it to the bank, and once it's been submitted, we'll see an alert saying it's been submitted, and then we go back to the payee screen. Another feature is the ability to click on the pencil next to the payee to rename the payee. Again, the title becomes editable, and we can rename anything in there. We also have the ability to add a payee as well. We click on Add, we enter the name, the address, account number, phone number, and we click on Add Payee. And this is going to search the banking system for the payee already there. If the payee has an account with enVision, it's going to automatically link them. If it does not have them, then it marks it as a manual account. we excluded the ability to remove a payee. I spoke to our bank again, and I said, is it possible to remove a payee from a mobile app? And they said, not from a mobile app, but you can do it online, but it doesn't actually remove the payee. It just marks it inactive in the system. So you can still pull it up. I did also want to state that we excluded the enVision charts because it was redundant. But other than that, guys, that is our application in a nutshell. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.